Ray Paulick up on the roof at Del Mar Racetrack, right next to where Trevor Denman has been calling the races for 30 years now. He's celebrating his 30th year here at Del Mar, one of the best announcers in the business. We caught up with Trevor to talk a little bit about his career, how it got started, and what some of his passions are outside of the announcer's booth.
I started at Santa Anita at Oak Tree of '83, which means October of '83. I was assistant to Dave Johnson for the Santa Anita meet of '84. And just by sheer luck, that same year, Harry Henson, who called the races here at Del Mar, I think he got sick and he retired. So I walked right into it. It was just sheer serendipity. I was in the right place at the right time. As Santa Anita opened for me, so did Del Mar. Always a tough question, because one of the most favored would have had to be Cigar, but he lost, so that put a big dampener on that. I still remember very vividly the very first Pacific Classic. That was a great race, a lot of excitement. The Pacific Classic was a novelty, really, really good race, and it was, you know, some great horses, Best Pal, that kind of horse. And the one that comes to mind a lot too, it's not a well-known race, but when Zenyatta almost got beat here, and a lot of people thought she had been beaten. It looked, with the naked eye, it looked like she'd been beaten. But she got up to keep her unbeaten streak going, so that one will always live in my memory too. Primarily, I'm the same as any handicapper out there. I always say, I've got a handicap just like them. I've got to know the speed horses, the come from behind horses. Who's the favorite? Why do you favor the favorite? Because most people have bet him, otherwise he wouldn't be the favorite, you know. So you democratically favor the favorite, not to win the race, but you keep an eye on him. And even if you haven't bet the favorite, if you know you've got the favorite beat, that's 80% of the job done. But primarily, I handicap exactly the same. The only difference that I always say is, say it's a 12-horse field, I have to know all 12 horses equally well, because 100-to-1 shot could go to the front. Whereas a handicapper, 12-horse field, he can glance and he can eliminate 6 of them, they're off the thing. But I have the advantage that I get paid to do what I do, and they might not. It's changed mostly because of off-track betting and the predominance now of television. You know, back in '83, the television wasn't that good, and the on-track attendances, you know, Santa Anita on a weekend, 40,000 people every single weekend. So it's much more now, I think you need to say, here is so-and-so in the yellow cap. I pick particularly conspicuous colors. So if it's like red and white stripes, say, and in the red and white. So if you're watching, you can pick up the red and white. It's no good saying a horse in brown and green, because he blends in there anyway. Obviously a gray is a lovely marker for you as well. A white cap or white color. So you pick up a marker, so if somebody's watching and they don't know where their horse is, they can immediately see that horse, and then they can calculate where their horse is, you know. I have to answer that 2 ways, yes and no. I don't feel like I am, but the way the chips fell, I am. You know, it opened the door. And I think I was the first one, barring maybe an Irish calling in England, the first one, let's call him a total foreigner, to go into a different announcing system. So yes, that opened the door for a few people, yes. Yes, that is idyllic. I love my farm. It's called Yasnaya Polyana, which is Russian for beautiful meadows, and it was Leo Tolstoy's farm's name. So obviously we're great Tolstoy fans. So it's Yasnaya Polyana. It sits on 500 acres, and it's just totally desolate. There's no one there. The nearest farm to me is a mile away. After him, it's about 3 miles, and I can see his farmhouse. I can just see the top of his silo, but other than that, you can't see any other human being. So it's magnificent. It's absolute tranquility. You couldn't get a bigger disparity between living on that farm and driving the LA freeways, let me tell you. It's A to Z. Oh my gosh, massive progress. Obviously, my big thing in the beginning was whipping. I mean, the whipping here was diabolical 30 years ago. It was inhumane, absolutely inhumane. And I think we've come a tremendous way. I mean, you just watch Joel Rosario now, Rafael Bejarano, they hardly pick up their stick at all. And the whips themselves are so much more humane. You know, you could take those old whips, and if you hit from not even a far distance, just a reasonable whack, you get a welt. It would bruise up and you'd be red. I can take these current whips and I can whack myself hard and nothing happens. So it's more the noise that's making the horses run. So we've come a long, long way there. We still have a little way to go. I still see a few jockeys abusing the horses, but it's gone from total abuse to minimal abuse. And the other one is animal welfare after they finish racing. You know, I remember it was actually a lady called Grace Belcure who started it all with surf. I was in behind her. She started it, I came in right behind her. And I remember going to the racetracks and they just blatant asking for donations, and not all of them, some of them did, but some of them a blatant no. That is not our problem. And of course now we've got organizations, gosh, matching donations that are coming in. The public fraternity, from the management down to the fans, is so much more aware of retired racehorses. They are not garbage. We don't trash them anymore. We make a very, very good point of taking care of them. And it's even like made the owners aware. I don't think the owners were evil people. They just didn't think about it. Now they're thinking about it. Oh my gosh, my horse is retired. Which retirement home do I send him to? Before they would have been, well, he's gone. Where he goes, who cares, So yes, I think we've made massive strides.